Good morning, friends. Today, let us study the various sources of knowledge, valid sources of knowledge in Indian philosophy known as Pramanas. Now, Pramanas means valid sources of knowledge. You know, knowledge is of two varieties. One is valid, one is invalid. Invalid knowledge is contradictory, it contradicts itself. And valid knowledge is the one which is non-contradictory. Okay, and some are also there which differentiate between valid knowledge and invalid knowledge. That is not the subject of study for today's topic. Now, what is valid knowledge? It is known as Prama. So through Pramana we get the Prama, that is valid knowledge. Now in these two more things are there, Pramata and Prameya. Pramata means one who is trying to know the knowledge, that is subject of the knowledge. And then Prameya means the object of the knowledge about which we are trying to know. That is what is known as the object of the knowledge or Prameya. Now, coming to the various Pramanas in Indian philosophy, different schools of philosophy believe in different Pramanas. There are totally 6 Pramanas are there. Some believe in one Pramana and some other believe in 6 Pramanas. So others believe in other Pramanas. So it depends on viewpoint, right? Now coming to perception, that is the first Pramana. First Pramana is what? Perception. Perception, here 3 things are important. What are the 3 things? One is sense organ, and then the object, and then the contact between the sense organ and the object. So if these 3 are there, then we get the sense experiences, and through these sense experiences we get the knowledge. Okay, we get the valid knowledge. Now coming to these sense experiences, we all know that we have 5 senses. The first one is eye, the second one is ear, the third one is nose, fourth one is tongue, and the fifth one is skin. Now, in these 5 sense organs, we get various sense experience, such as from eye we get visual sense experience, from ear we get auditory sense experience, and from nose we get olfactory or smell sense experience, and from tongue we get gustatory or taste sense experience, and then from skin we get tactile or touch sense experience. Like this, 5 sense experiences are there that make perception. Perception means what? It is pratyaksha anubhava, pratyaksha experience, direct sense experience. So that is what is known as perception, or the first pramana, first valid source of knowledge. Now, coming to the second source of knowledge, that is inference. Now, when we look at inference, this inference is otherwise known as anumana. The second one is known as anumana. This anumana, what is this anumana? See, for example, on a mountain, we see that there is some smoke coming out of that mountain. Now, what do we infer in that? That there must be some fire within that mountain. Are we able to see that fire? No, because it is inside the mountain. But we infer that there is fire inside that, because we are all given to understand that wherever there is smoke, there is fire. Smoke will not come without fire. So there is a relationship between smoke and fire. Smoke is there where there is fire, and fire is there where there is smoke. So as such, that relation is known as vyapti. That relation is known as vyapti. So what is important for this anumana or inference? Vyapti is the important thing. Now, the relation is the important thing. Relation or vyapti, both are one and same. Now, this is smoke and fire. When we come to this smoke and fire, the smoke is known as middle term or hetu. Smoke is otherwise known as middle term or hetu, and fire is known as major term or sadhya. Major term or sadhya. There is one more term, that is paksha. Paksha is the place in which this major term or fire is present, that is mountain. What is that? Mountain. Mountain is known as paksha, and this is known as minor term. So, with the help of the middle term, that is smoke or hetu, we try to visualize, we try to see, we try to infer sadhya or major term fire in paksha or minor term mountain. So, when the smoke is coming out of a mountain, we visualize or we infer that there is fire within the mountain. There is fire within the mountain. So this is known as inference or anumana. This anumana is not doubt in the literal sense in which in English we see. See, anumana is expecting something. Okay, we try to visualize, we try to infer. That's what is anumana. Now the third one is verbal testimony. See, there are a lot of learned men around us. when those learned men speak something, then we take it as truth. So it depends upon the reliability, trustworthiness of that person, of the words which they speak. We believe or not. We believe or not based on the trustworthiness of the person who is speaking. So when we accept the authority of such a person as a noble person, as a reliable person, as a trustworthy person, then that statement is taken as true or valid, so valid knowledge. Then that source of knowledge is known as verbal testimony. The same is true with the scriptures also. When the scriptures, the holy scriptures are there, when they say something, we take them as valid knowledge. So even that also is regarded as verbal testimony. Now coming to the fourth pramana, that is comparison or upamana. See, this upamana can be best explained with this example. See, we all know in our surroundings there are domestic cows. Cows are domesticated. We take milk out of them. We rear animals, and one of them among them is cow. Now, when we go to forest, we see something similar to our cow. It is not exactly the cow, but it has similar features like our cow. Then we call it as a cow, but it is not exactly similar. But it is found in the wild, that is a forest. So we call it as wild cow. Based on the similarities between our domesticated known cow, we are trying to identify the wild cow which is unknown hitherto till now. So that's why it is known as similarity, that is upamana or comparison. That is the fourth pramana that we take. Now coming to fifth part, that is implication. The fifth source of knowledge or pramana is known as implication or ardhabhati. Now, this can be best explained with the following example. See, Devadatta, or for that matter, you can take the name of any person. So here I am taking the example of Devadatta. Now, Devadatta is a fat person. But no one has seen him eating in the daytime. Daytime he is not eating. So what does that imply? Automatically, everyone implies that he must be eating in the night. So through implication, we are getting that knowledge, implying. So that's why it is known as implying or ardhabhati. Ardhabhati is nothing but implication. Now coming to sixth pramana, that is non-apprehension or anupalabdhi. See, this can be explained like this. See, there is a jar in the room yesterday. Now that jar yesterday which was there in the room is removed today. So do I find that jar in the room today? I cannot find that. So that is known as non-apprehension. I am not able to apprehend the presence of a jar. There is absence of an object. Now, the existence of an object is non-apprehended. It is not non-perception. Non-perception means object must be there. If your object is there, if you are not able to perceive that, then that is non-perception. But object itself is not there. So when object itself is not there, then automatically of the three things which is important is object also. When object itself is there, the perception or non-perception is question does not arise at all. So it is not non-perception, but it is non-apprehension. It is what? It is non-apprehension. So here it is to know the absence or non-existence, that is abhava. Abhava means what? Non-existence of a particular object. For example, jar. Through non-apprehension of the object, because the jar is not there in the room, I cannot apprehend it. Non-apprehension at a particular place, that is in my room, and at a particular time, that is today. So that is absence of a jar in a room is the example. So like this, there are 6 kinds of pramanas are there, which are taken by the different schools of Indian philosophy. Some schools of Indian philosophy, some believe in one perception, other believe in orientation of thought, viewpoint, etc. Okay. So this is how we get the knowledge. What knowledge? Valid knowledge. Valid knowledge means what? Prama. Prama means valid knowledge. So through pramana we get the valid knowledge, that is prama. And coming to pramata, it is the subject, means me. If at all I am trying to know some, if at all I am trying to get some knowledge, then I am pramata. That means I am trying to get, I am the subject of the knowledge, I am the knower. Knower is known as pramata. And then pramaya means object of the knowledge. Suppose I am trying to know about a pen, then that pen is known as the object of the knowledge of pramaya. Okay, so this is how the different schools of Indian philosophy are there. These different schools of Indian philosophy are regarded, treated by these different Indian schools.